And fans of Kenny, we are live, baby, for episode 111 of Back Nine Bets. Mile High Mayhem, baby. So we got a little surprise guest over here because my co-host on the Fantasy Golf Degenerate show, the underdogs have been a little slow to get their barks out and we couldn't quite get our underdog little round robins out there. So I got my main man, Kenny from Fantasy Golf Degenerates to kind of share our underdog plays for the week, because if you use code Mayo and sign up right now using that code, you'll get yourself $250 off or back in bonus bets. So use that.
Something like that,
Mayo.
right?
Something like that. Jesus Christ. You usually do it, so I'm trying to run the show. Yeah. Kenny, what's up?
What's up, man? Glad to be on. This is a good idea. Get a little bit going with the underdog stuff on video. It'd be nice.
Yeah, baby. That way we don't have to cut it. We just make it live. We get everyone in the chat saying what's up to Kenny. Hit that like button. We appreciate you also. I'm going to bring up yours first, Kenny, and then we can do mine afterwards. Here is your underdog play for the week. Underdog seems like they've only got highers and lowers, right? So
yeah, they got like top fives, top tens, top 20s, and stuff like that too. But I mean, I'm going higher and lower, and I'm keeping it simple. I mean, a lot of us are going in blind this week with this new course, stuff like that. So I'm going to try and keep it simple as possible and not overthink it. So, first one, I'm going to go Wyndham Clark, lower than 70.5 strokes. You got to shoot 2 under. In this route, he's the hometown guy. He's played this course before. Now the issue, he's been playing good golf. Now the issue, of course, is, his first round hasn't been great here recently, but it can't go in that direction every single week, and he has to come back flying on the weekend. It can't happen every week. He's got to have like one time where his first round's decent. I think it happens at his home course, or not his home course, but a course he's very familiar with, more familiar than most. So lower than 70.5 strokes for Mr. Wyndham Clark. Second, again, simple. Tony Finau, altitude from Utah. Pretty simple, playing well, lots of top finishes, ball striking. This has been incredible here recently. I think he had a pretty good finish last week. I'm trying to remember, but again, my brain cells are all gone. But I'm going again lower than 70.5 strokes. People are liking him this week. I like him this week. So it's another easy play for me. And then I'm just going to pick against somebody for this. And the guy I'm going to pick against is Max Homa. The guy looks off. His game's not there. It sucks because I like him, his personality and stuff like that. And you've heard rumblings from him, and you can tell he's super frustrated about where his game is at. So, I'm hoping for at least one round to continue so he can win some money, because I do like Max. But you got to pick against somebody, and the reason I do that is because you got to watch at underdog or for underdog when you go lower and higher with 2 different people using the same stat, right? You can get, it ends up, you get more of a bonus, more of a multiplier.
It's not correlated. So
so that's why I wanted to add. So if I went 3 lowers here, it'd probably only multiply by 4.8. I think this one's multiplied by 6.3.
Mine's pretty much 10. Because I also did the same kind of thing. Went with 3 guys who I think are going to shoot under, lower than. And Shane Lowry in first rounds has been really good. And I think this golf course, the way he drives the ball, I think he can definitely get under 71 strokes. That's -1 for Shane in round 1. Willie Z needs to shoot -1. I'll take a chance. If you think about even when Willie Z wasn't playing well, Kenny, his first rounds were pretty damn solid, and then he'd fall off. So round 1s for Willie Z have been pretty solid. Your boy Tony, my boy Tony, we're going back to the well there at 70.5 strokes or under. So -2 for Tony at a venue like this. And then I'm going to do the same thing with you. I'm going to take a bit more of a bigger gamble on Ludwig. I probably should have gone max, but I'm going to take 70 strokes for Ludwig or higher, because his round 1s have just been rather pedestrian lately. And I don't know how he's going to be. I think he's gassed, so I think he's probably running out of steam, and this golf course can really punish you quite quickly if you don't have your stuff together. So 10-1 for those boys over there at Underdog, brought to you by Underdog at the Fantasy Golf Degenerate Show. That's crossing over into Back Nine Bets a little bit. So Kenny, any parting words? Anything
No.
you want to let the people know before what you found out since we last spoke?
I haven't found out shit. I still need to do some research. I'll have my stuff out on Cup's Corner tomorrow. My final stuff. I'll get a little bit more research and try to pinpoint stuff. If I have to change stuff, I will. And I've been contemplating a big change to the betting card here, probably in the last 30, I'd say the last couple of hours. Just contemplating. Okay, we could break it down here. I'm thinking of like taking out some of the bets that I have. I think I have 3 currently. Hovland, Wyndham,
and Billy.
It's somebody else. I don't think it's Billy. It's
or Willie Z. Because
Willie Z.
You've got the 3 exact same people.
Yeah. So I have those 3 guys right now. I'm thinking of dropping one and going Xander win only. It just I don't know. It makes sense for him. This course, Jack Nicklaus, like, Valhalla comps, and I think he can win this. And it's killing me too in the one and done, because I'm in that finals I'm in the last 2 weeks of the Slider Cup, which is a league we do locally here. A couple of guys from the local radio station used to be on it and stuff like that. It's a 1 international, 1 USA player each week. And I was in second place after the regular season. I dropped to like 7th after last week, and I have Xander left, right? And so I've been contemplating, like, do I save him?
Oh, you burn him right now, Kenny. He's playing.
Well, here's the thing: the Tour Championship, it goes by where you finish, and you combine the points from international. So it's no money involved. It's like if you're 75th and you finish like 52nd and 52nd, you get 104 points for that week. Person with the lowest total wins. Now, in this week, it's multiplied by 4 because it's the FedEx Cup. Next week is multiplied by 6.
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe I should hold on to Xander, because he can win the Tour Championship too. He's done it before.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you. I didn't realize that's how it was working for you guys there. So that makes tons of sense. But
I'm thinking of betting him too. I like him a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. 6-1 is quite tough, Kenny, to get there.
I'm hoping to get 8-1 after the boost
on Bet365. Yeah, that makes sense too. But I don't know, man. I've been thinking about it too, because his numbers open short and then they drift back. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on back to us. So, yeah, I don't mind it. But Kenny, you got to stick with your guns. You know what I'm saying?
Stick with the 3?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We've told the people.
I have room left.
Just bet Xander top 5. If you're going to do that, just bet him top 5.
Yeah, but then I'd have to spend way more money to win what I want.
Yeah, but you can have him finish top 5 and the other guys still cash as well. It's like a each way without
free
the
extra. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, buddy.
I'll let you do your show there, brother. I'm good to go. I'm going to go back and watch Game of Thrones.
We're going to get back on in. So the people are calling us Cheech and Chong. One of them started calling us Starsky and Hutch and changed it to Cheech and Chong. Someone else said, your edible has arrived. It has indeed. I mean, this is the Mile High Mayhem show. So if you thought we weren't going to bring the heat, you guys have got it all wrong. So let's get you out of here. All right, Kenny. I'll catch you later.
How do I get out?
I'll just kick you out.
There
all right.
Go.
Peace. All righty. Friends, family, fans, and those of you without the me's, we are rocking and rolling over here for episode 111. Awesome little cameo from Kenny VT there, sharing us with his underdog plays. I love them. I was on the same guys too. So I'm in the mood for some really fun stuff. Kenny showed up. I said, you know what, Kenny, instead of just doing this thing early, let's do it on my show, because, it's Mile High Mayhem. Maybe we do it a bit more. Maybe we don't. We'll see how it goes. But I felt like that was a fun little cameo, and it's caught you guys off guard a little bit. So it's going to be a fun one. I mean, we are in Denver anyway. So I'll pull up the model here. Let's start cooking with some gas. I'm going to be answering questions for you boys and girls as we go through the show. And as always, it's brought to you by rotoballer.com, where I have all my premium stuff over there. Use code SUMMER for 30% off. You can pretty much, I'll actually just bring up the model right now for you guys so you can see exactly what's going on. So here's the model for y'all. If you're in the mood for this kind of stuff, you can grab it over there at rotoballer.com using code SUMMER. Link in the description below. So before we even we can use this as a little promo because this is how we roll over here. So I'm going to pull up the holes in proximity, which I have in the model for you guys if you're in the mood for that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be really important to have a decent idea of what to expect from this golf course. And I kind of re-engineered a few things because I am the goddamn model maniac and this is what we do. So yeah, Kenny was like, how do I get out? And he was like cutting in and out of me. Please let me know in the chat if I am not coming through clearly all the time because he was glitching on me a touch, but I had so much fun with him. That was pretty fun over there. I appreciate you, Karen, for hitting the like button so hard that you broke your screen. So I appreciate that. Hopefully the audio is still coming through crisp for you. That was fun. All right. So looking at the model over here, if we take a peek at the holes and proximities that I kind of came up with, I went through the hole by hole stuff and I decided, okay, this is where I think these guys are going to hit the most of their shots too. There are a few holes where you're going to have to lay up. I'm counting about 4 of them, 250, 290, 300. I think these are going to be, those are shots that you can hit with a 3-wood at altitude. So the ball flies at 10% more at altitude. We're just going to put that out there for everyone that doesn't know. By now, if you've listened to a few shows, you know that. Take a drink. We'll all take a drink. I'm sipping on some milk. Some good farm fresh whole milk, and you can't go wrong with good that. That's the way to go over here. So we got the Bob Ross wig on. We got the Rotoballer ball cap on. We got JD in the house. What's up, my man? And we are kind of just dissecting the course real quick here. I'm trying to just let y'all know that I'm expecting about 70 to 75 maybe % of these shots to come from 175 and out. So we are looking at a long iron affair. Now, whether or not, 175 minus 10% gets you to like 160. So it's not exactly, that proximity because you are taking a bit off from the approach shots as well. But these proximities are adjusted based off of these average drives. You can see I've got on the first hole, I think we're going to see drives go 375 yards. They are going to get absolutely mashed. So, it's downhill by like 20 yards. It's like 70 feet of something of descent. So they're going to go there. Then on the next one, they're laying up. Then they're laying up again. 300, 290 yards are all layups. So the model's got that for you guys. I've got BMW DFS points for the best people, the worst people. It's all over here for you guys there too. I got betting summaries for their guys. Who's played the best? What kind of markets they've been the most successful in? All of that jazz. And then obviously the model over here that you can use to make your own decisions. So that's basically what's going over on the model side of things, brought to you by Rotoballer. And let's dive into it this week. We've got some fun bets, friends. Also, stay tuned. Hit the like. We'll do some giveaways here at the halfway mark. We'll also do Q&A once we get all the bets done. We only got 6 or 7, so nothing too cray-cray and having ourselves a good time. Jumbo, let's have a good week, my man. Let's have a good week. Hey, you know what? We bet the placements. We'll let the wins come to us when they want to come to us. So that's all good. Okay, so what I've done is I've kind of made a few of these guys superhero names. I don't know why I did that, but I just started with one of them, and it just kept on going through. So we've got some fun nicknames for these dudes. It's going to be a weird show. I apologize in advance, but it's going to be fun. So the first bet we have, friends, number 1 in the model is goddamn Scotty Scheffler. And we are calling him the Chernobyl Chef. T5 minus 150. Apologies there. That is not the correct number. Let me change this to minus 150 because that is where we found it at Bet365 for a top 5. If you take a look at what Scotty Scheffler's been up to, his T5 rate has been 70% of his last few rounds. And I've changed this up a touch to make sure that it's more dynamic because we used to just do this for the last 12 months worth of golf. But now we've changed it to the last 12 months of golf with pasted on top of that the last 6 months of golf and then the last 3 months of golf. So I'm kind of really weighing the last 3 months 3 times, the last 6 months twice, and then the other previous 6 kind of a little further backwards now to really get these percentages to kind of speak to us from a live perspective, which I noticed with Benny on, we were kind of keeping going back to that well, and he just hasn't brought the heat. So kind of want to reward guys for playing nicely and kind of ding them if they've been playing like shit the last little while. So kind of just sharing that with you guys. That's, this is an integral part of what we get up to on this show is betting these placements. And I think changing the process and adapting is something I want to share with you guys, because I feel like that's the fun part about what I get up to. We don't hit the winners like we always usually want to, but man, we can kick placements in the D. So we are doing that and we are enjoying every second of it. So that's what's getting up here. As you can see, Scotty Scheffler does T5 at a 70% clip. Minus 150 implies a 60% chance, implied probability there. So that's a 10% edge, a few extra formulas for, random things. I think his most recent form doesn't have a top 5 over there, so he's getting dinged a touch there for the 7th at the Open Championship, unfortunately, because this is who we're betting. We're betting Scotty Scheffler for a top 5. Chernobyl chef. When he does his thing, he goes nuclear. This is why he's the Chernobyl chef. If he's a superhero, he just lands, just hits people with 7 irons and just leaves them in like an atomic rage that they can't get out of. This is what we're going to get up on the Mile High Mayhem episode today. So the Chernobyl chef minus 150 for a top 5. Let's freaking go. I mean, he's got a great chance of winning this thing. You're going to have to keep your ball so close to the fairway, because if you stray off of these fairways, there's water. If you stray off of them, there's thicker rough. If you stray off of them, there's forests and pine trees and stuff that you can lose your golf ball in. So I love Scotty Scheffler's consistency off the tee. I love how in control he is of his golf ball on the iron front. He is just so goddamn good at golf right now. He's so consistent. If we take a look at his stats, I mean, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all across the board up until the putting. So he's the best off the tee, the best approach player, the best ball striker, and the best around the greens. But then he's the 38th worst putter, he's 38th in a 50-man field. So tough signs over there for Scotty. He plays golf the best on all venues. So you're pretty much getting everything you could wish for from Scotty Scheffler. I mean, just look at these pink boxes out here. Shout out to Scott Holdridge on the pink boxes over there. But the one thing about the two boys at the top, Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, who Xander's going to be our next man. X-man, 10-man, minus 200 for a top 10 for Xander Schauffele. What's exciting about Xander is his strokes gained. I mean, he's weighted good shots from this golf course is actually first to Scotty Scheffler. And where it's really coming in handy is on the 200-yard front. Xander is ridiculously good from 200 plus. And if we get a lot of those shots again this week, we do. I'm expecting it. Whether or not I'm 100% correct with my metrics, who the heck knows, but he's not too shabby from 150 to 200 either, but not his best range. He's so good in majors because this range from 200 and out, he is the best in the world. He gains the most strokes from 200 yards and out. He's got great good shots. He's got proximity that's third. Everything is freaking delightful for Xander Schauffele, and that's why he does his thing. So it's really good to see that. And then they both rather fancy top 6 in this field out of the rough from 150 and out, which if they do miss the fairway is going to be very important this week. So that's what's going on there with Xander and Scotty. Xander's top 10 rates. It looks like we've got some internet connection issues. I'm going to just hang tight until it tells me otherwise. I don't want to be speaking the truth. Okay. Internet looks back. Apologies there, folks. Please hit me up in the comments if everything's going on what's... Okay. Sweet. X-Man actually asking a solid question here that I appreciate these questions because I don't know how I'm trying to educate everyone of every level. I want people that watch golf religiously and bet golf religiously to learn stuff, and I want Farcanel to learn what minus 200 means when betting. So basically how you interpret the minus 200 and the pluses, when a bet has minus 200, I'll get my face involved, yeah. When a bet has minus 200 or minus anything, you have to lay that amount of money to win $100 back. So minus 200 means you have to lay $200 to win $100. You can lay 20 to win 10. If there's a plus, you're just laying down the $100 and that returns that amount. So plus 150, you lay down 100 and it gives you 150 back if your bet wins. So minuses, you have to lay the entire amount. Pluses, you win what you bet the $100 on. If that answers your guys' question. Does that answer your question? I think my internet started cutting out again. I need to figure out what's going on with this stupid internet. But hopefully, Farcanel, that's what I thought it was, you know. But if you're looking at like a percentage side, it looks like this internet is really bothering me right now. All right, so Xander Schauffele from a minus 200 perspective, from a percentage side of things, is a 67% implied probability. So plus 100 is basically a 50-50 shot. So if you just pretty much do this, we go Victor Hovland plus 100. We're not going to be betting him for anything, but it's 50% implied odds. So basically what you're doing when you're taking minus 200, what I like to do is put it into a percentage amount over here so that you can see, okay, minus 150 is a 60% implied probability. Minus 200 is a 67% implied probability. Plus 190 means it only happens 1 in every 3, whereas minus 200 means it's happening 2 in every 3. So kind of just dumbing down some basic stuff here, which is cool. I really appreciate you asking that question because, you know, maybe there are other people that are watching this that don't know that either. And what we're doing is taking the odds and converting them into the percentage and then comparing them to the percentage that they finish inside the top 10 at. So for Xander, we're going to go to his top 10 over here and bet him because it's implying he only does it 67% of the time betting at minus 200, but his T10 rate in the last 43 events is 72%. And he's also been absolutely crushing the top 10 the last little while. Inside the top 10, the last 3 times he's teed it up. So delightful stuff there. We've been cashing in on Xander in a big, big way. His top 10 market has returned $633 if you were betting to win $100 every single time you click on Xander's bets. He's profitable across all markets, kind of just like Scotty Scheffler. Not many guys have that to boast about. You know, these two guys have been the most amazing bets, and we've just been betting them like crazy. Scotty and Xander have been phenomenal returns for us. We cashed them both last week, T5s, T10. We are going straight back to the well. We've kicked 20 people out of the field, and now we've got 50 left. The odds are going to shrink a bit, but it means that these guys are playing at the same level. There's 20 golfers that could have potentially stolen those spots. They're out the field now. So we're happy to kind of take that into account and go from there. So Xander Schauffele, T10 minus 200. Let's freaking go, baby. Let's have a sip of milk, and we'll get on to our next bet there. Okie dokie, Smokies. X-Man and Chernobyl Chef behind us. And next up is not Tony Stark. So we're going to kind of pull up the only Tony that is not Tony and see what his situation is here. We're going to be betting Tony Finau minus 180 for a T20. We are going to the well there because, well, it's the only market he's been profitable in the last 12 months, returning $312, betting to win 100 every single time he plays. I'm just drinking straight milk here, Jens. Just straight milk. We are completely sidetracked because I'm reading the chat again, yeah? But I think I'm going to finish Tony Finau's story, and then we're going to get to On the Pulse's question because I think that's another good question to ask. So Tony Finau, he's been crushing it in this market betting-wise because his top 20 rate is 66% of the time. He's inside the top 20 every time. He's the new Sex Panther. Russell Henley this should be his name, not Tony Stark. It should be Sex Panther Finau because 20%, 60% of the time, he's inside the top 20 all the time. 66% of the time, baby. So that's incredible. It's more than double his top 10 rate. So this is the market that you want to be finding him in. Because if you can find a betting percentage of the top 20, top 10, top 5, that's kind of disproportionate to the other 3 around them, you can find that market to be an edge because they kind of graduate the bets according to the outright number and don't adjust the individual markets based off of these percentages that we use to kind of exploit those bets. That's how we do it over here on Back Nine Bets. And I can dive into that a little bit more as well, because I feel like we're having a learning day. We're learning. We don't have too many bets. Maybe we can go to school today versus go to work and see how that goes for us. But Tony Finau, inside the top 20, 66% of the time, the odds tell us, hey, he's doing it 64% of the time. So we got a small edge there. And how I also get another edge is by ranking my golfer. So he gets an 11% boost because his upside rank is 10. Sorry, it gets a 13% boost because his safety rank is 7. I use safety ranks for top 20 bets and upside ranks for top 10s and top 5s. So the safety ranking being 7 gives him a 13% additional boost there on top of everything. So it's a nice little way to kind of reward these guys for being good in the model. And we are going to Tony Finau, who, if you take a look at his recent results, we have got a top 5 in the top 20 in the last 2. Then the Open Championship, we can forgive everyone that played badly there, whatever. Prior to that, we had another bunch of top 20s, top 5s, to be honest. So good stuff there. I think he's playing good golf right now. He fits the build to hit it long and straight. His long irons are incredible. If you take a look at what Tony Finau gets up to on the long iron front, look at these proximity numbers and the strokes gain numbers for Tony Finau. He's second, fourth, second, third for incredible metrics on the approach side of things. His wedges aren't necessarily the best in this field, but they get progressively better the further away Tony Finau gets from the hole. As you can see here, the best ranking he has from 100 to 150 is 21st, but his best ranking from 150 to 200 is 10th. And then his best ranking from 200 and out is first. He's got the best poor shot avoidance from 200 yards and out, which means he hardly loses half a stroke on approach from 200 yards and out. Everyone else loses half a stroke more often than Tony Finau. So we can see what he gets up to, and he also leads the field in strokes gained out of the rough from 150 yards and out. So this is why we like Tony Finau for a top 20, because it's the way to go. You know, I think he's been struggling to win. You would have lost tons of money betting on him to win. The top 5 market's making a quick recovery after those nice finishes earlier. But the top 20 market, he's been inside of that all the time. This is a 50-man field, for God's sakes. It's basically, if there's ties paid in full, we could have half the field finish inside the top 20. So just finish inside the top 20, Tony. You've been doing it very often in bigger fields. Let's go, bro. I have faith in you. Diving back into the chat, yeah. I'm glad I kind of didn't let myself get derailed there. But Tony Finau, where he be now? All right. So how do you adjust your unit size? Also, this thing gets so janky sometimes. All right. How do you adjust your unit size with a minus 200 number? So basically, yeah, I can show you if I go to my Rotoball replacements for the FedEx St. Jude. I haven't updated it yet with the bets for this week. But basically what you're doing is I have a formula here that kind of just uses the odds, and maybe I can make one and just make it available to people that are, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you might need, we can figure it out. But the odds imply how much you need to bet. So at minus 125 for Scotty, let's just make it minus 150 because that's what it is this week. We want to bet $27.78 to win $18.52. We can make this $20 up here to win that amount. And then that means you'd have to bet $30 on Scotty to win your $20 back. If it was plus 150, you'd only have to bet your 10 to win your 20 back plus $13 or so. So kind of just, that's how I do it, because usually the odds imply how much risk you need to take on anyway, because once again, if we go back to the percentages over here, the implied percentage of minus 180 means it happens more often than not, 64%. We know it happens 66% of the time. So we love what's going on in Tony's life here. And we think that it's a bet we want to take on because it happens more often than not. If you want to go to another bet, for instance, which I haven't laid any of these down, but like a Corey Connors bet for top 10, it means it happens 28% of the time. Let me get this out of the way here. Where's Corey Connors? There we go. Corey Connors for a top 10 only happens 28% of the time. So it's a 1 in 4 shot versus 2 in 3. So you kind of don't want to be betting as much on a plus 260 bet to return your money anyway. So you just want to keep that unit size to return the same amount. That's how I do it, at least. And then that's where, you kind of get to there. All over fee now this week. Let's go. I think that's the way to go. My nerd man over there, Utah boy, great course history on the Mexico high level elevate. I haven't heard anyone mention that yet. That's a great point. He does love Mexico, doesn't he? And those are, again, easier driving kind of venues with long irons in particular. And if my guy doesn't win, should I go gouge out the greens with a putter at Castle Fines? Are you going to be there? That's going to be awesome, man. Enjoy if you are. That's going to be a great, great time. The golf course looks amazing. But also, if it's a nice putter, don't do that. Yeah. Oh, yes, you should go gouge out the green. Okay. What is advised in the chat is not legally binding to this show or anything we believe in over here. But yes, we can do that, Karen. After the show, can you provide thoughts on Rory? Feel good about him last week. Course issue. Yeah, I think we're fine with that. The Chernobyl chef and X Chalk is better. Yeah, I think so too. But, we'll see what his ownership really comes in and go about there. So, okie dokie. So let's get into our outrights. We've got 4 of them. Let's go there. So starting from the bottom, now we're here. Victor Hovlander, 20-1, is not going to really grade out the best in the model, because if we take a look at his kind of recent track record, it hasn't necessarily been the best. We've got a miscut at the US Open, a 20th at the Travelers, a 46th at the miscut at the Open, 30th in France for the Paris Olympics. Then boom, second at the St. Jude last week after winning the BMW Championship at Olympia Fields, which I also think is a venue that is a calm course for this. It's kind of a long-hitting golf course with kind of penalties if you miss big, but the rough is going to be thick and kind of similar kind of stuff. So if you're getting a feel for how guys want to play at this time of year at similar kind of golf course, Olympia Field's not the worst in the world. I was out there to watch Rory 3-putt from 15 feet last year. So that was lots of fun. But Victor has been disgustingly bad in the betting market just in general for the last 12 months. So it's not ideal, but hey, we're going to keep going back to this dude at this kind of a price in 20-1 in this field is cool for me. I think we know the ball striking is going to be there. If you take a look at his driving lately, it's been incredible. He's second in the field in strokes gained off the tee. So who is first? It's probably Scotty, right? So yeah, so only Scotty Scheffler is driving the golf ball better than Victor at the moment. So you got that going for you there, Vic. And then if you take a look at the ball striking numbers, his approach numbers aren't the worst combined with his off the tee. He gets third in this field. So I think the course isn't going to play super easy. The 32nd ranked scoring on easy conditions, not the best, but medium courses where you kind of have to grind to a -15, -18, I think he stands a chance this week. So he's a great, great candidate for an outright this week. I think I like his upside. Do I like his safety at all? No. So we're just going to keep rolling with that. We've got an E-tray on him as well. So that's basically what we're doing. And then when you take a look at his ability to just generate strokes gained out of the rough, he's so strong and so powerful. Even while he's been playing like shit, his stats are still inside the top 11 from 200 yards and out the rough, he's inside the top 6, So it's good to see him do certain things really well. And I mean, top 8 there. But Hovlander, he's got himself ball striking superpowers. He just needs to avoid chipping himself out of this goddamn tournament. And then we're looking good. So I had to do some maniac adjustments on him at $10,400. I don't know. I do think his volatility is pretty high. So I don't know if it's going to be a popular play to play Victor. I'm probably going to be out on him if he is popular because he has the potential to blow up. He honey-dicked us at the PGA Championship when he finished 3rd and then completely just sucked it up the week after or so. So I wouldn't trust him as much as just betting him to win the tournament kind of thing. If we get an upside week, we get an upside week. If we get an upside down week, we get an upside down week for Victor Hovland. Next up for us is Clark Kent, our main man. Wyndham Clark Kent in the house. He actually grades out really nicely for us when it comes to upside because his volatility is why we like him as a golfer. I mean, if he can just get off to a decent start, his last few round 2 through 4 have been incredible. I mean, he was one of the best. He was the best golfer at the Olympics through the last 3 rounds. He went charging up the leaderboard from completely nowhere this week. So we know what this guy can get up to, but he also can suck it up big time. And we are going to Wyndham Clark at 35-1, baby. That's the way we go. And I think, he's been close. If we take a look at his last few rounds, it's been a 7th at the St. Jude, a 14th at the Olympics. Remember, he was basically DFL at the Olympics, finished 14th, missed the cut at the Open, whatever, 10th at the Scottish, 9th at the Travelers. Those are some solid results. He's been hanging around. His form is definitely much better than it was at one point. So, we're not even hoping that he plays well because of his potential. He's actually showing it to us now. So look at this bullshit, though. His round 1 scoring average is the worst in the freaking field. This is the shit that we're dealing with here. Round 2, 34th in the field. Then the round 3 and 4, 6th and 6th. This is exactly the problem we've been having with Wyndham Clark the last little while. Is he just can't keep it together early in the round, early in the tournament. So he needs to get off to a good start. Maybe being on a comfortable course that he's played a few times can help, because I think, that's where we want to be. So yeah, I'm seeing Jordan. You're on Clark as well. Let's go, baby. I think whenever I click in here, it keeps jumping me around. There we go. That's the right one. So yeah, man, I think he's going to do some great stuff. We are obviously going to be leaning into the narrative a touch. It doesn't hurt that he's playing in his hometown or home state and has played here many times, and he's going to have his family around. He's an emotional guy. Maybe that helps him. Maybe it doesn't. But hey, we're betting him for high upside finisher. If he sucks, he sucks. It's 35-1. It is what it is. Anyone can suck. Look at what Rory got up to last week. So we're going to kind of just lean into Wyndham. And, the thing is, he's been putting well. He's been putting really, really well. Let me pull him back up here again, because I think he's not getting the justice for how well he's been putting. He's top 10 in this field in putting. So we're going to really see him do some good stuff. And he's not too shabby. If it plays easy, he's top 6 in that field category too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Wyndham's got a shot. We'll see what he can get up to. And then Billy Badass. So basically, when this guy just lands up, he just bullies you into stopping whatever crime you do. He's just like, hey, buddy, this is it. This is it. I'm here now. Your fun is over. And my name is Billy Badass Horschel. So 40-1 for Billy. Hey, man. The thing is, he's 21st in upsides, not the greatest thing in the world, but if you take a look at his last few starts, we got a 2nd at the Open Championship, then he WD'd from the 3M, but didn't really play even, I don't think. Then finished 7th at the Wyndham Championship and cheerleaded Aaron Rye to victory when we were on him there. Plays well at the Wyndham, where a golf course he should play well at. Then 10th at the St. Jude last week, kind of back toward the top 10, but he's starting to find some solid form. Now we're betting some value options here. 40-1 in a 50-man field is cool. It's not the best number in the world, but it's a small field. So we're going to have to deal with it, because the big numbers are guys that suck ass. So Billy Badass doesn't suck ass. He's the bully. If he gets in the mix, he gets in the mix. And DK is showing us here with some respect. He's the 93rd, $9,300 when it comes to pricing. That's 12th. And I don't quite think, what is his strokes gained over the last little while? 17th, So that is kind of interesting to see that pricing. But hey, we'll leave him alone in the DFS world, and we'll kind of lean into him here in the outright market at 40-1 for Billy Horschel. So that's where we're going over there. And then our Willie Donker, Will Zalatoris. This guy is just inspired by Willy Wonka. He just shows up there, Willie Donker, and he's got his big old putter, and he just slams it on the ground and lets the people know, hey, I'm friends with Billy Badass. Better watch what you're up to. And this is what Will Zalatoris is going to get up to for us. I think he's found his groove again, and we don't really know which way this course is going to play this week. The betting markets have it at -23. I don't know. Maybe it plays difficult if this course plays difficult somehow. You never know if the weather shows up or whatever. I think the more difficult it gets, the better his chances are. He's not the greatest at kind of going low, but even when he's been playing bad, he's inside the top half of the field for medium and hard scoring, but it's not been the greatest. So he's got decent, I'm not going to even call it history, because that's just the BMW Championship, but Willie's back. You know, he's playing some solid golf. We had a T12 at the St. Jude, and it's been an interesting ride. And we're getting an 80-1 on Willie Z to just finish inside the top 5, because we also bet the each way on this. So that's a 20-1 on the top 5. So that's more so what I'm kind of expecting from him. If we can just get off to a better start again, you know, he tends to find his groove later on in the week. So the T12 at the St. Jude, where he's played well, could be the confidence boost that he needs to get across the line at 80-1. You know, I saw hundreds out there in the morning. I don't mind an 80-1 on him at each way. So he's $6,800. If he's not too high owned, we're going to go to him there too. And that's where we're going, friends. So, yeah. Oh, baby, you got 150-1 on Willie Z with 5 places each way. God damn. Damn, dude. That's beautiful. What's that? 30-1 each way, baby. Beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. So, good stuff there. Okay, let's dive back into the chat. Let's see what else is going on. No one else chatting about Griesemann. Okay, we'll chat about some. I mean, if there's a golf course that kind of suits him, maybe this one is it too. You know, I can see him just nuking it off the tee, and he's in good form right now. So we'll see what he can get up to. Wyndham is not going home. He is going home with the trophy this week, Jordan. He is going home with the trophy. Thoughts on elevation bringing around the green play more significant to you? I think everyone's kind of blowing the elevation out of proportion a bit. These guys have been there for the last little while. They'll know how to kind of handle this. It's a 10% increase. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe off by 1 or 2 yards, but it's not going to be that crazy. I think we're going to be fine. You know, I think this course is going to play easy, if I'm being honest with you. So the Willie Z 80-1 is just a big number, the grab that we're going if it plays difficult. But I think these guys the guys that are in the fairway are going to be on the green a lot. You know, I think if you're not in the fairway, you're going to be struggling around the green. And that means that you're not going to necessarily be doing it the way you should be. So as always, people say, you know, around the green play can be good. But I think this week, if you're chipping and not making birdie putts, you know, that's not what you want to be looking at. So maybe, but in my opinion, I think the elevation thing's getting a little bit overblown. It's a big factor to kind of, you know, just think about, but I don't think it's going to affect people as much as people think. All right, to watch the show, and first bet is the same as one of my. Oh, baby, yeah. So we're on the same page. I know Kenny's on the same page. There's a lot of water over here, but so it seems like will not be as valuable. The elevation should be able. Yeah, exactly. Karam, I agree. So we are in lockstep over there. All righty. What's up, Joanne? How we doing, girl? Welcome, welcome. Com course I was exploring was high elevation, Barracuda, the 2 Mexico Open courses, and the Kapalua and Augusta. Yep, exactly. And I think that's what people have been saying as well. There could be like comps between. There's definitely comps between Augusta and here strongly. Kapalua a little bit too, but I think the green sizes are much smaller here than Kapalua. So more punishing for misses. So less wedges into greens like you'd see at Kapalua as well. Kapalua surprisingly has a lot more wedges than you'd imagine. So this week, I think more Augusta comps, more kind of bigger bad boy fields like Murfield Villages, kind of things like that. So I think that's probably the way to look at it this week. Cool. So we get Willie Z out of the way. Was there other questions? I've never been a person that gets deep into the weeds about the types of courses. I probably should, but I've just, you know, I know Siwoo's a Pete Dye guy, I guess, or was, or whatever, but I don't know. You know, if that's your thing, go for it. I don't have that even in my model, so I wouldn't even know. I don't even know which, you know, I hardly ever pay attention to what course. I don't know why. I just kind of fit the metrics that the course is to, but, you know, you get guys that are familiar with how those things go down. You know, they like the layouts and the mind fuckery that happens with some guys. They get around it easier. Some others don't. So I don't know. It's a good question. I probably should integrate that into my model. That'll be an off-season project. Thank you. All righty. So yeah. So who am I on? We are on Victor Hovland 20-1. We are on Wyndham Clark 35-1. We are on Billy Badass at 40-1 and Willie Donker at 80-1. Willie Z 80-1. And then we've got Scotty Scheffler -150 for a top 5, Xander Schauffele for a -200 top 10, and Tony Finau for a -180 top 20. kind of just graduating that through there. So that's where we are. I think there was one other question that I wanted to ask about some other stuff. If you guys, I haven't even done a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway as well, and then feel free to fire in some questions. Let me get the screen out of the way. Let me come up with an actual post for this so we can get it going. All right. So, who has the? Let me actually think of a good question. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So, who has the best top 10 rate in the field, not named Scotty or Xander? All right. So, who has the best top 10 rate in the field, not named Scotty or Xander? If the first correct guess comes through, we will send you a wig. No, not sending wigs. We're sending the model, Ken. You relax yourself. You relax yourself. We'll send out that model to you on X somehow, or we'll get in connection and make sure we can do that. So it's not exactly for the last 12 months. Remember, I was changing how I did it. So it's the last 12 months, the last 6 months, and the last 3 months all weighted together. So I am not seeing the correct answer just yet. So it is not Tony Finau. It is not Colin Morikawa. It is not Wyndham Clark. It is not Rory McIlroy. It is not Sungjae Im. It is not Colin Morikawa. It is not Billy Horschel. So you guys need to keep firing off. I feel like you can rock and roll again with another guess, because we'll go again, because the first round was a bit of a mess. So think about it, folks. It's right under your nostrils here. Think about the percentage of a top 10 for the last 3 months. You know, who's really been firing up on the last 3 months here? It's not Aaron Rye. It's not Big Mac. It's not Ludwig. It's not. We can have to bring up Griesemann as well. It's not Griesemann. It's not Ludwig. Friends, do you need a translator? That should be the clue that gets it done. There we go, JD. It is Hideki Matsuyama sitting over here with a 43% top 10 rate. Right over here, right behind Scotty and Xander. 43% of the time, Hideki's inside the top 10. A slightly worse top 20 rate, though, for Hideki. It's just, let me get this out of the way. Slightly worse top 10 for Hideki. Top 20 versus his top 10, but it's kind of interesting to see that. And his top 5 rate not nearly as high as the other guys around him. So the 3 times he's finished inside the top 5, Hideki Matsuyama's got a gold medal and 2 trophies. So Hideki doesn't finish inside the top 5 unless he's getting hardware. This guy's a savage. So yes, that is the trivia giveaway for this one. Congrats, JD. We'll get you guys. I'll get you your model here in the chat there. All right, so we wanted to bring up Max Griesemann. Let's bring up Max Griesemann. Yeah, I think he's interesting. I wonder whether look at this model's the safety for the model is nice for the grease doctor. You know, I think he's been playing good golf. The putting side of things probably coming through the best for him there. And what is going on with his? It's just the recent form, I guess, that's really kind of getting him home, because it's been 2 second-place finishes inside the last 3. You know, so you got a lot of good love going on with Griesemann there. 21st at the Scottish, 26th at the JDC, 31st at the Rocket. So he's like kind of not really finishing worse than 30th every time he's teeing it up in decent-sized fields. And I think with his distance, maybe that's a big weapon this week. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. $6,300. I'm curious to see what his ownership returns as, because he's playing some good golf. And I think, you know, he played nicely at the Wyndham, which is a claustrophobic venue as well. Then what did he do at he finished 30th, I think, at the the St. Jude, 33rd. Out of 70 people, that's still top half after a crazy Wyndham Championship. Like he couldn't have felt rested up for that at all. So I think potentially this week he's on the same playing field as everybody else, and maybe he stands a good shot at that. I mean, he's $100 less than Max Homer right now. God damn, that's incredible. So poor Max has just been a complete disaster this year. Tough to see. So that's what's going on there, folks. Nice little short, quick, and easy one. I'm going to lean into. I actually haven't even prepared for it, so I'm not going to do that. But next week, we're going to be doing back nine jets on the back end of the show, because it's going to become ghost time season now with the fall swing and football on. So I want to enjoy what I'm doing. So we're going to condense the first part of the show into like the first half an hour, first 45 minutes, answer questions, however, and then knock out some Jets stuff and NFL bets on Tuesday nights, while we kind of in the mood for some fun NFL football. So hit that like button, please, friends. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're going to have a great time. Tell the Jets fans in your life there's a guy that rocks wigs and Hawaiian shirts on a show talking about golf bets and football. So we'll be doing our thing. I appreciate you all for popping up in the chat. Apologies to you guys for not having the right translator, but JD's, he knows what's up. So congrats to you, my man. I probably should have done a few more giveaways there. I'll do a few more extra next week because, we messed up a little bit this week. So we had Kenny on, the poor guy, I mean, he trooped through there to get it to us, and we got it. So hopefully it's a winner for him. Hopefully it's a winner for us. Let's have ourselves a week, friends. Let's cash some tickets. Let's have a good week, and we'll catch you guys next week for the